Hey fam, it's me Aaron for a comic show. I'm excited about these comics this week. It's another great week. We have some endings with Death of the Family. We have some great number ones with Uncanny X-Men, Secret Avengers, and some cool indie books, including some franchise books like Star Wars. Getting into Death of the Family, Batman 17, we get to the point where sometimes where it's the end of something and there's no way I want to spoil it. So, and I don't want to just sound stupid and people call it like, oh, it was cool and awesome and, just trip over the same adjectives like I always do. But this book, you feel like the Joker is messing with your head as the reader. You feel like the Joker is effing with you. I mean, the title of the issue is Punchline, and it's all resolved in this issue. You don't have to read these issues. You don't have to read any other tie-in. It's all resolved here, and it is the death of the family in a and like the metaphor of the family of Bruce being the father and them all coming to him. And if you read this and identified with the Joker at all, like, yeah, Batman does have this extended family that's gotten too big and too many hangers-on and too many people coming to him, and you kind of want to see just the world's greatest detective fighting rogues. I think that's what we're going to get here, and as it goes forward. But the Joker, Batman understands him better than anyone else. He did not explain himself well or even at all to his family. He didn't trust them with the knowledge. And when you get it, it will make sense to you, and you say, oh, Bruce was right doing the right thing, but he did kind of betray his family because he didn't trust them with that knowledge. And that's the death of his family. But there are so many things that throw you through a loop in here that I'm not spoiling anything by just talking about the themes of the book. Trust me, when you read this, you will be like, WTF, WTF, WTF. Batman and Robin 17. This is it's an aftermath book. It's the post-traumatic stress of the Joker, and I enjoyed it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I liked it, and then Batgirl the same way. She's moving on. She has the issues. There's that sort of boyfriend that she likes to kiss sometimes that only has one leg. And there's a new villain, Firebug. So the thing with Batman is we think the big death is going to be in issue 8 of Batman Incorporated, and we think that's going to be Damian in a way. I mean, if it was Talia, why would that cause any kind of media anything? We think Damian might die in issue 8, and perhaps Batman and Robin will continue with a different Robin. Maybe it'll be Batman and Tim Drake. That would be cool. But yeah, so I just let you know Tim Drake didn't die in issue 17, and neither did Damian, because I'm speculating him dying in Incorporated 8. And you see how hard it is when there's the last thing to say anything without people like, oh, you're spoiling it. But you've seen covers of future issues. You've read solicitations of future issues. You know some things are in play and some things are not. Katana, this is issue 1, and it's the first WTF certified cover. I know that's not coming for a couple months, but it's from the pages of the Justice League of America that hasn't come out yet. Justice League of America has not come out yet. This cannot be from those pages. Having said that, the book was pretty cool. The artist, Alex Sanchez, was a very good choice for this. And, if you can't get David Mack. And the book was emotional. It was spiritual. She is a woman of very few words. She just says, like, welcome to my sword. And the next issue title is Hire Your Enemies. This one was The Way of the Outsider, a nod to her previous continuity as an outsider. If you like Katana, and if you want something, kind of sword-like in, that whole Asiatic stuff, then check it out. Here's the big deals for Marvel. Join the X-Men #1. Okay, this Uncanny X-Men, it is Cyclops full-on mutant terrorist mode. He's the protagonist, so the antagonist is S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's framed in such a way that someone from Cyclops' inner circle is betraying him to S.H.I.E.L.D. And you know from the first issue, someone is betraying him to S.H.I.E.L.D. You don't know who it is until the end, but they do sew it up. It was a great first issue where they set it up and sew it up. You know who it is, and it's awesome on the very last page. Do not read the last page first, but I like how they set him up as Che Guevara. Cyclops is this movement. It's, the X. And these kids are following him, and they can't take him out without making him a martyr. So what they have to do is discredit him, and, like the Cointelpro, you have to discredit the revolutionary heroes. And I'm excited about this book. You can read it without reading All New X-Men. I wouldn't suggest it. I'd suggest read All New X-Men as well, but this book is awesome. And we'll have that ridiculous Deadpool bird cover with the 53 state birds. I didn't know we had 53 states. And also a baby cover. Awesome. Secret Avengers #1 by Nick Spencer. Oh, and this is by Bendis, of course, because it's the tandem book to All New X-Men. Nick Spencer's doing Secret Avengers. This is what he does well. He does espionage, he does mystery, and it sets it up with the beginning and end. Similar to this, you get the payoff. You get the mystery and the payoff of this issue in a single issue story. And it starts kind of like the Hawkeye Initiative. Hawkeye is the damsel in distress. Hawkeye is the one who needs rescuing by Black Widow. And this team, if you look at the variant cover, it has somebody as Iron Patriot, it has Winter Soldier, it has Hulk, in addition to the ones we knew, like Agent Coulson from the movies, and Nick Fury Jr., Nick Fury, also sort of from the movies, Samuel Jackson. And this book is a spy espionage shield book called Secret Avengers because they can pull in anyone from, you know, the whole Avengers roster of Black Ops and whatnot. And Agent Coulson, cool character. Nick Spencer has a nice handle on him, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I think Luke Ross is a good choice for an espionage book, and I really liked it. You got the betrayal, the backstabbing, and the baby covers. So, you know, 3 Bs. Moving on, Star Wars. We have the second print, so it's all the beauty of the Alex Ross cover without that silly logo over it. So if you didn't get issue 1, you know, here's the second print. It doesn't have a logo on it. Issue 2, it was just as good as 1. What I liked about 1 is it's between the first and second movies where they're actually dealing with the heavy emotional toll that the first movie had on them. Sure, they won, but they have all these wounds. Luke had, you know, his aunt and uncle killed. He had Obi-Wan killed. Wedge had everyone that he knew from, you know, his squad killed, except for Luke. Luke also had Biggs killed, his you know, boyhood mentor, his big surrogate brother friend, and Leia had her whole planet blown up in front of her. So if people read this and they said, "Why is Leia flying an X-wing? She's never been shown as a pilot," you're doing it wrong. You're being legalistic about what's been canon, and you're not really feeling these emotions. And besides, Leia is a princess, a very capable princess that took charge of her own rescuing when she was being rescued on the Death Star. In their world, you know, learning how to pilot a plane, especially one that's like the X-Wing, the standard thing for the rebellion in which she is part of, would be like getting your driver's license, it'd be like driving a car. Get over yourself. She flies an X-Wing, you know, yes, Wedge is a better pilot than her, and maybe Luke is too, but she flies an X-Wing, get over it. And this issue, you got Boba Fett. What more could you want? You got Han and Boba Fett, more Wedge, Luke, and Leia. You got like the whole kind of rogue squad, and I just love this book. This is the only Star Wars book you need to read. It's wonderful, it's Brian Wood, and I can't say enough about it. This is the Star Wars book that you've always wanted, but never really could, you know, express that. And I don't know if it's in continuity, if it's going to be tied to what happens in, beholden to what has to happen in Empire and Return of Jedi, or if it's going to chart its own course. And I don't care. It's fun. You know, it's kind of like how Walking Dead, the TV and the comic can chart their own course, and I can enjoy both. I enjoy the comic more, obviously, because, you know, Carl has that big old eye socket that, you know, that Negan just wants to finger. And so this issue, you get the payoff to what happened with Carl instantly. You have the Governor special, which has the origin of part of the Governor's origin in here that you could have gotten in some comic book legal defense fund special, but you got it here, including a reprint of his first appearance. Ghostbusters is a big deal. It's the new Ghostbusters, an all-new team. It's 4 girls and 1 guy, and it's great. It's a new ongoing. It's by Eric Burnham, who's been doing the ongoing, and it's Janie puts together a team because the Ghostbusters are in another dimension somewhere, but they're still in the book, don't worry. And it's Kylie from Extreme Ghostbusters is in it, who is Ray's personal assistant. You have Melanie, who Peter wants to date, and you have Ron, who's a rival of theirs in jail that's a huckster, and she puts them together to, you know, bust ghosts. And you also have a backup story with the real Ghostbusters, you know, the cartoon, which you might have seen in Mars Attacks if you read that, which was fun. Also, Bedlam 4 came out. You guys know I love this. If you like Bedlam, it's Nick Spencer, so I would suggest trying his Secret Avengers. His stuff is great. It's very heady. It's very trippy. Fatale came out. You guys know I love this book. It's one of my favorites of 2012. And this, we finally get some backstory going all the way back to, like, I don't know, 1200 AD France, I think. And you finally get some of her origin, some of the witch trials, some of this stuff. I enjoyed it. And Manhattan Projects, if you're reading this by Hickman, you know how dark it got the last couple issues. But fear not, because now it's JFK. Now we're finally to JFK. So ask not what your comic can do for you, but ask what you can do for your comic. It was a great issue. And that's what's out this week. Thanks for watching the video, and give me your comments. Thanks, bye-bye. Thanks for watching the video. Click subscribe if you want to. That's awesome. Go check out our Facebook and share the video on Facebook. You could win the books I'm talking about. And if you're local, become a member of the Geek Easy and watch Walking Dead with us. Every Sunday in real time, we're watching it. We have a sandwich called The Walker, which is pulled pork. It's all green, too, with like green food coloring. And it's pretty awesome. It's just $2. And you can get $2 off any Walking Dead item in the store if you get that. Thanks, bye-bye.